I just want to say it's been a fun week so far. Thank you for the opportunity to the CIGA organization for us to come here and be a part of this. This has been fantastic, and don't want it to end quite yet, so I'm going to enjoy every last minute I get here on the island and try to get out as late as we can to get home. But you know, we wanted to come here today, and you know, as we joined the organization earlier this year and talked with Jeff and Danielle and you know, the board members and some of the other folks about, you know, the importance of the Grocers Association, what this can mean, and, you know, hey, come out with us to Hawaii and sponsor an event. So what a worse place to be, right? Try to get to Hawaii, twist my arm, come out and do this. So we are here, and today I just want to share with you all really an overview of who we are as a company, where we came from and our roots, because we did relaunch our business after it had been sold in '89. And within that presentation, I've also brought in, you know, kind of want to tell a story of why we think we're relevant. But some of that data I looked at and that we've looked at as far as why people are looking for our blends and how that translates to your stores. It's really interesting, some of these buying trends of our collective customer. And then I'll touch a little bit about salt-free, gluten-free, and non-GMO, and, you know, kind of where some of those things are going in the market and why it can be important. So with that, I will jump into our team. But prior to that, actually, I want to share with you, everybody's got a recipe on the table of our famous garlic bread. So anytime we have guests over, we do demos, we cook the bread, it smells great and it draws people over. It's easy to make and people flip out and love it. So that garlic saltless is the key ingredient with that mixture there. I can't say that with the ingredients we add that everything's salt-free, but the blends that go in certainly are, and it makes some wonderful stuff for you. And then we have 9 jars of our blends that we put out on a platter to pass around. So feel free to open those, smell them, get to know our products. It'll give you an idea of you know, the quality we put into these blends. It's a labor of love, and we're happy to share it with you all. So more about our team. Patricia Gage is my mother. She founded the company in '83, and the idea, you know, really was about going salt-free. It was a big epidemic in the '80s, and that was kind of our niche in the market. So we like to, you know, I think of her as the salt-free pioneer and creator of our bottle of magic formulations. Excuse me. You know, when we were at our peak of sales in the '80s, before we sold to McCormick Schilling, you know, we had 33% of the salt-free market share in California. So we did extremely well up and down, you know, northern and southern California areas, and had product in the Pacific Northwest as well. John Gage, my dad, he's really our strategy specialist. You know, his background, he was a food broker for Chapman Tate in Southern California for many years. He was a part of Chapman Tate, sold his interest in that, came into Parsley Patch, and he was really helped shape our vision and, you know, our go-to-market strategy. So very much today he's involved in that, although 20 plus years of relationships that have changed, you know, he still kind of knows the network and understands how, you know, the distributor relationship, broker relationship, and getting things into the stores. I myself, you know, went from filling sample bags as a kid to kind of help lead the charge for the next generation, so it's fun. We were laughing the other day, talking with Marcus, and you know, growing up in Sonoma County, of course, always used Clover products, and I used to love the ice cream cones they gave away at the Sonoma County Fair. And he's like, yeah, my first job, I was scooping ice cream cones at the fair. You know, now he's running this big organization. So if we can be that successful in our relaunch and grow to that stature, then I'd say we're doing pretty good. So Jeremy Fitzpatrick, who obviously you know as well, here with us this week. He's my cousin. He just has a real passion for food and comes up with these great ideas on how to mix blends together and cook stuff, and we share it at the demos and talk to customers. So, you know, having somebody that's got that passion about it is great too, so he's a very important part of the business as well. A little bit about our history. You know, we felt like we had a great thing going. McCormick Schilling got interested in us because Mrs. Dash at the time started to get real big, Kraft Foods being one of their main competitors. They said, we're either going to buy it or we're going to have to come up with our own salt-free line. So they'd approached us early in the '80s. We declined it, and then they came back in '89 and made an offer that you know, kind of hit at the foundation of our core values. They said they could take it national, really grow the brand, and it flourished for years. It's done very, very well. And back in the day, those were just a shot of some of the press clippings we had when we were still a private company. But I think in the theme of finish what we started, you know, you get into a big corporate, you have a new brand manager every 6 months or a year that's coming in and running it, transition. So sales continued to climb, the brand grew, but it never got to anywhere we think we could have taken it if we stayed involved. So this is our chance to come back after that. McCormick still has a salt-free line. A lot of their Perfect Pinch line is very similar in foundation to our blends, but they've walked away from the core philosophies of what we were about. So we brought that back, and we're excited to share it. And so this time we are doing it as organic, and then salt-free, of course, as always. But we're learning from feedback from our customers that non-GMO, gluten-free, and having all the certifications is really important in that. So those are the big things we're touting with our product, and we think we can help you, leverage sales in your stores. We used to have 12 blends. We brought back the 8 bestsellers, and then we added our Go Gorilla Rub last year. So we've got a total of 9 SKUs right now. So the rub, the idea was to have something fun for the summer you can barbecue with, but of course it had to be salt-free. So Jeremy and I worked really hard to come up with this formulation for that, which, smell the spices when they come around. The rub's kind of a smoky sweet. It's got some heat in it and finishes with a little bit of with a bite. So it's not over the top, but it's just great flavor, and there's no salt. So if you're trying to cut salt out of your diet or just want to be a little bit healthier and then add your own salt on top, it's a great way to go. Because if you look at any of the rubs out there, most things have, first ingredient salt. Salt tastes great, but, and sugar, yes. And we know salt's not very good for us, so that's where we came through. When we launched in December of 2012 was when we had our first production run and our blends back and ready to go for shipment. We really thought, well, if this many people are looking for us online, we'll just start this with an online strategy and go to market that way. Sales took off. We had family and friends right away started ordering. We had some orders from all over the country, so there are people looking for us, but the volumes aren't there to really support long-term growth. We got to get our name out there. So that's when we decided in March of 2013 to go back out on the road. We hired back on one of our old brokers in Northern California, started talking to you all, and appreciate all the business that we do a lot of business with a lot of people here in the room. So we appreciate that support, and we're going to continue to grow that. That's our commitment back. So we're going to continue with the e-evolution approach, really push things through social media, Pinterest, Facebook, doing press releases, putting stuff on our website, cross-promote. If you're doing promotions in the store, we can do a lot of that and work with you all. And I think those things will really help drive kind of that technology front, but also our sustained growth. And our secret and how we really were successful in the past was being in the specialty food stores. I mean, that was our lifeblood of our product. So we're happy to be back in that, and love coming out the stores and supporting your customer as well. And it's really just about putting the bottle of magic back on the table for the healthier cooking. And of course, we're a small family business, so it's generational leadership. That's important to our core, and we'll keep it that way. Current operations for us, we are Sonoma County based, where we do a lot of our shipping, but we've got offices in Lake County as well. So home office in Kelseyville. As I touched on, we're family owned. Right now, we've got product placement in 60 plus stores throughout California, Nevada, and Hawaii. We do have a network of distributors. We have direct brokers, northern, southern, and just hired on in Pacific Northwest. And then we do both wholesale, direct, and distributor pricing models. So whichever works best for you, we can support that. With that, what we saw is that the game has changed, and I'm sure you're seeing a lot of this in your stores. When I was a kid growing up, it was natural foods, and that's for those crazy people out there. Nobody wants that. But now it's such a generational shift that people are really looking for having the health benefits and having organic food is mainstream. You see it everywhere. You see everybody talking about it. This new era of shoppers and more health conscious, and I think it's going to significantly increase the demand for higher quality foods. So I think that's a sweet spot for all of us here in this room. And we're targeting that generation. And as I said, our feedback was, we came back to market salt-free as always, and this time organic. But now we're really pushing gluten-free, non-GMO, all the other buzzwords, because we have people come up and say, well, you're gluten-free, but it doesn't say it on your bottle. Do you have a certification? So finding that's extremely important, and certainly worth the investment for us to make in getting those certifications. Being that game has changed, who are those buyers? What's the makeup of that look like? Is it the younger generation? Is it the baby boomers? Who's really driving that? And in 2013, the research shows that actually 82% of Americans are now reporting that they're purchasing organic products. So That's a pretty wide number. I think that spans across young, current, and and future generations of folks who want to know what's in their food and they want something healthy. The lifestyle habits around it is really to improve their diet, their family's diets. 86% of them say that they purchase natural or organic health foods, and 85% have been doing this for 5 or more years, and so that trend continues to increase. That they've started 5 years ago, continuing to buy in that route, and will carry that on into the future. With top health goals really being around eating healthy, aging healthy, increasing energy, improving immunity, just getting cleaner digestion and detox of the body. So it certainly know that it helps in what people want. And this research continues, and apologize for that being kind of a wordy slide. I'll point out some of the highlights there, but especially consumers are spending 37% more on these types of foods. So, if you have that in your market, there's certainly demand for it, and it's what people want, and it will probably draw them to your store versus some of the big box stores out there. They're saying that they're buying from specialty foods from the supermarkets first, independent markets, and then followed by the natural store, full-blown natural food stores. And that about 1/4 of their at-home income comes through on those dollars. So that's a significant amount. And I guess as costs increase and we have droughts and other things drive up the price of food, I'm sure that dollar fluctuates. But to have 1/4 of your income represented on food, that's a pretty big commitment for somebody to say, hey, this is what I want, and it's important to me, and I'm going to buy it. The middle bullet there says 40% are using their phones for purchasing coupons. I don't know what the future looks like. Are people going to walk in the store and have an app that kind of directs them to something they want to buy? Maybe it gets there. I think that's really more relevant, at least for this conversation today, is what we're doing with our social media strategy, right? Helping promote and push. We're building out the back end of our website with a store locator. So, and if I put in some verbiage about each of the stores we're in or a personalized story, that will help drive a web search. So somebody goes to search for your store, and then my brand, if it's in there, should come up somewhat in that marketing search, right? If somebody Googles that, so kind of cross promote. Again, as I mentioned, if there's things out there where you're doing a promotion or a strategy, that's something we can help tag on our website as well. In the bold there, specialty food consumers are more conscious about food attributes than the claims. I see that to be really relevant. Kind of shows me that this data that we're reading about does resonate with the actual consumer. Where they've come and said, "Where's your logos? I want to see CCOF. I want USDA organic. I want gluten-free on there." So we've really had to step up to the plate to get those certifications to make sure we play in that category. But probably the biggest thing there is that the consumers want interaction with the retailers, and the products are most important to the specialty food customers. They like somebody in that store to be knowledgeable about what they're buying. You have a lot of these big box stores that grow like crazy. They hire employees as fast as they can. They come up in every new market where they look like they have opportunity to sell. And I think, the store's got nice products. I think things get lost in that translation. Somebody wants to know, hey, I need advice on this food or this product. What do I do? I mean, Brandon, you and I talked about this at the pool the other day. I think it's a perfect example of it. Here's a guy that walks in your store, wants to make ribs for his friends and impress them. So, he obviously identified with you, and knowing that you know your product in your store, and said, tell me what to do. You gave him the stuff, and he was so happy, and he was such a big hit, he came back and bought you lunch the next day. So, that's great. I think me as a consumer, I certainly want that. That's the value I see in going to an independent or a local market versus, some of the national chains that, they've got great stuff, a lot of the same things that you all have in there. I still want that personal experience, or I want somebody that knows me as a customer when I walk in, or, what can be recommended that's in your store that you love. So those are the trends of what they're looking for, and, what the next thing really comes up is, okay, fine, that's what they see, but what are they buying? What's driving their habits? And nearly 2/3 of the specialty food consumer enjoys any kind of specialty food for everyday meal. So they really purchase around taste and quality, and those are the two primary drivers that they're looking for. Give me something that tastes good, I want it to be healthy, and I want to feel like I'm eating good quality. So our category, seasonings and spice rubs, account for 32% of that specialty food number. So That's good for us, it's good for you. I think it drives pull-through sales. If people are looking to buy spices and rubs, you got to put it on something, whether it's vegetables, it's from the meat counter, or some of the other goods in your store. So that's a win-win on both sides there. So given those facts and kind of what we're seeing in the industry, these are the 5 reasons we feel that our product's really essential. People want to cook healthier meals, so we're there with the gluten-free, salt-free, organic, and non-GMO. We can tout the fact that we're local, which is great for us. We deliver more antioxidant compounds to the diet with the blends that are in there. We've got a lot of things formulated in that are healthy and good for your body. Spices have a lot of that. And then the other thing is, fires up metabolism, takes care of that, but we want to make things easy, take the guesswork out of cooking. I'm going to make Mexican food, or I'm making Italian food. How many spices do I need to put in that, or what? Do I need basil? Do I need garlic? What else do I put in there to make this dish pop? Ours is, we've got an Italian blend, or a Tuscany mix. We've got our Mexi mix. Put a tablespoon, put a teaspoon, whatever you want. Shake and awake, it really picks up the flavor of the food. We have those bottles there for you to smell and share. If you just take our Tuscany mix and sprinkle that on top of pizza, or Jeremy's come up with putting the Rev on pizza, and that tastes fantastic too. It gives it that pop and that kick, and it gets hot. So, and then just be heart healthy for life. Enjoy food, look for things that are good quality, shake on the flavor, and salt's not a bad thing. It's still a spice too. So if you want to put a little sprinkle on top, then you can do that too. But we got feedback from one of the stores in Sonoma County, and Frank Camilleri is the store director, and he's like, this is great. You guys are selling like crazy. I put gluten-free tags around it, and it's just coming off the shelf quickly. Like, you have a Royal Flush, you've got the organic, you've got gluten-free, you've got local, you've got non-GMO. So these are some of the things that's fun to hear the feedback on that is relevant for us. And then why salt-free? It was an epidemic in the 80s. It was our niche, but it's starting to rear its ugly head again, because I think of the way things are processed now, and salt's cheap, it's a filler, foods are loaded with sodium. So, the average American's consuming 3,400 milligrams of sodium a day, and against the American Heart Association recommendation of 1,500, so more than double. It's a little bit of a scary figure. Too much sodium is going to cause water retention, added burden on your heart and your blood vessels, and then increased risk of heart disease and stroke as a result of that. So, if we could be successful in reducing sodium intake in our diet, it will really help save between 280 and 500,000 lives over the next 10 years, according to the research that they do around salt. So it's real, it's significant. Surprisingly, you think that pretzels or chips or peanuts you get on the airplane, stuff like that you're going to eat is really dragging that content. But again, if you look at that box of prepackaged stuff, salt's the first thing. You look at the sodium content per serving in there, it's off the charts. Sometimes you're 700, 800 milligrams for one serving, so it's not hard to get to 3,400 milligrams in a day. So taking that out, if we get rid of that, I think it'll help do our part and give flavor and give options for people that want to be aware of that. And if we can be a part of the cause to help people be more healthy, I think that's a great thing too. Gluten-free. I don't know. It's like, is it a fad? Is it here? Is it going to go away? I think it's real. There's a lot of things. I mean, you look at the current methods of wheat production. You start talking about the next slide with GMOs, and you're modifying the grains. You're modifying the way food is grown. We don't know the full outcome of what that's going to do to long-term effects on the human body. So, if you look at some of the things about gluten-free, I mean, you get bloating, consistent belly weight, irritable bowel syndrome. It can give you brain fog. I may have had too much gluten today or this week, but I think it might have really been because I'm from the pool bar. But certainly had brain fog yesterday and the day before. Maybe a little bit today. It's still lasting over effect. But hormone imbalance, fibromyalgia, the list goes on. But some people are significantly challenged by gluten-free. Your body, the DNA in your body, your makeup, is what's going to change the way it happens. So maybe I have a slight allergy to it. Somebody has, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 2 or a 3. Somebody else may be a 10. You have gluten in your diet. Your body's not regulating. You're feeling awful. And so I think based on that research and what it's doing, that gluten sensitivity or the intolerance of it, is really why it's going to remain relevant. And people are willing to give it a try, maybe not go cold turkey and cut it out of the diet altogether. I don't think I could do it. I couldn't give up bread or pizza or a lot of the things I love, but some people start to eliminate certain foods, and if they start to react and feel better, then they're going to start changing their habits. So I think gluten-free certainly will be more than a fad. It's going to stay relevant for people throughout the next, throughout the future. And the studies that we were looking at show that 1/3 of Americans are actually trying to eliminate some sort of gluten for their diet. So it's pretty real. GMOs, I think it was interesting to hear Marcus's perspective on that, and it's really an impact to the farmers and all the people that are involved all the way down the way our food is produced. I think it's going to continue to be a hot debate and a hot topic. We decided to go GMO-free just because we want to have high-quality products. That's our commitment to our customers, and so we've gone ahead and made sure that we got the certification. We're following the guidelines around it and getting free, clean food. But some of the stuff shows it's hard to ignore when you look at statistics that percentage of Americans with 3 or more chronic diseases jumps from 7% to 13% just in a 9-year span since GMOs were introduced. It's data you have to consider. Can it be argued one way or another? Absolutely. But with that, you certainly need to be aware. Food allergies, autism, reproductive disorders, digestive problems, other afflictions continue to rise. So, those are some real things. That's scary. And when you start messing with the gene pool and things that don't occur naturally in the food and the way we produce it, we don't know the consequences. So that's certainly why we're aware. And I think Monsanto has been in the news a lot lately. General Mills came out to GMO out of Cheerios. There's certainly a big movement going on, some backlash, so it'll be interesting to see where this plays out. At the end of the day, what we're really looking for is just a continued partnership with our existing stores. We want to continue to grow and get into new stores. We want to help you be successful as well. So, we're there to support it. We want to, we work with natural foods, independent grocery, and we do obviously want to get into the large independent and the national chains. I mean, we can be relevant in anybody's store, but I think our sweet spot is here. That's really where our growth was in the 80s, where we did well, where our customers today are excited to see us and still come back and look for our product. So our commitment is we'll continue to drive the annual sales growth, invest back into the company. We want to put it into marketing and promotion and help get the brand out there. We don't want to put it into the plants or other things. We can try to scale the best we can. And we want to continue our innovation. We want to do new products, new offers, whether it's going back to the other blends that we had as parsley patch, if those are relevant. We had a great curry blend back in the day. We've got an Asian spice blend that's got some wonderful stuff. So we may bring those back out, but we'd also look for your input on that. What are your customers looking for? We thought about maybe doing a prepackaged rice with a packet of our, like our rub in it or one of the other blends. So you can cook the rice, dump in the spices, not have all that sodium and all the really high, salty type foods. Because then the demos that we do, people say, oh God, this is great, I love it. Hand out the recipes, but they're like, I'm too busy tonight, I don't have time to stop and make all this. Can I buy it in the deli? Can I go over here? So, if we come do a demo at your store, maybe we pre-make some stuff, we have it in the deli, or we put it somewhere where they can pick it up from the go. It drives sales and pull through some of the other products we use too. So, that's where we'd love the feedback, and give us that. We'll take it to heart, and we'll look at where to go with it. Right now, our sales strategy is really just around continuing the growth of the business with both our broker and distributor network. Like I said, we just hired on some brokers in Pacific Northwest, so that's a new area for us to expand. We always are open to association and trade group memberships such as this. And then we'll participate in industry and distributor trade shows. So we'll be at Expo West here in the first part of March. We've got a booth set up, so we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a few busy days of being down at the show, and we usually fancy food show in San Francisco. We missed that this year, but we'll probably be attending next year as well. And obviously continuing with our retail store program, doing the demo programs, social media, press releases, everything else we can do to help drive it from the technology zone. And then we'll do cooking classes or videos on our website. So, videos are fun. People like to see that. I have Jeremy videoing me today, so I keep looking at him, and you get to see how silly I look later when I get home and watch the video. But you know, we'll put it on the website. We'll get it out there. It just drives more hits to our brand, and as we drive our brand, it'll help brand recognition in your store. So it's a win-win for both sides there. And of course, in the past, we had a give back philosophy that was really core to our business. So we want to find an organization. We're going to relaunch that. So percentage of profits on sales will go back to you know, giving it an organization and being a charitable contribution. So with that, kind of down towards the end, I want to thank you all for the time and take any questions you may have.
So you managed to get all these spices mixed, the ingredients all from within Mendocino County?
Well, we do. We co-pack in Mendocino County, and we've got some spices that are locally grown on our organic farm that we use, but a lot of the others are from, you know, from the distributors that we get you know, aggregate all the spices, and we'll buy them from the big distributor warehouses. So making sure that we've got to get everything, it's got to be certified organic, it's got to be, you know, trying and buying everything within the U.S. so we know there's some controls within the blends we put together. So we get everything in bulk, and then we go, and it's pretty fun. We get big bins of fresh, you know, raw materials, and we're scooping everything together and blend it and bottle it, and it's quite a, right now, a small production process, but very fun and unique at the same time. So you need to experience that. So if we can buy Mendocino County, anything within the valley, we try to support all the local growers.
Good. All right.
Sure. Anybody else? All right. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.